Down to the final table. We are in the money now. I am sitting 5th of 5 at the moment, but that can change very quickly at these stakes and levels. We're going to be getting our money in a lot in these, and I'm going to be getting money in a lot with these cards because I am way ahead for low from what I'm seeing, and potentially could be repping some big hands on high as well with that. So I wanted either build a pot to get a larger pot later or take it down right now is the theory at that point. This is a pretty crappy high-low hand. It's obviously a decent high hand, but for the low potential is pretty bad with it. I do hate folding a pair of queens, but in the low situation when it's queen, queen, nine, and I have no low whatsoever, it's really going to be a pretty crippling blow in a lot of cases. Pairs are pretty weak hands to stand on anyways, so you're almost better off in a stud context to be starting off with run or flush cards rather than starting off with a pair, because from a pair you've only got 2 outs to improve that pair, right? The only other way you improve is to hit another pair and get 2 pair, or you hit a 2-outer to make your set. So it's not really the best spot you want to be in. No limit hold'em. No limit hold'em. This is where stacks come to live or die in the no limit hold'em phase, folks. So I always like to say this is the phase where you're either going to do the most damage to your stack or you're going to increase it the most. You can get immediate double ups, or you can get immediately sent to the rail as well, of course, in No Limit Hold'em. That's the way No Limit Hold'em works, and it's one of the things that makes it an awesome game. And I do enjoy it. People think that because I run a stream called Anything But Hold'em that I have a hate on for Hold'em. That is not the truth. I actually like Hold'em. It is the reason that I started to play poker, was loving the game of No Limit Hold'em. I just like other kinds of poker now as well. And as for the stream, there's lots of other people streaming No Limit Hold'em, doing a very good job of it, doing an excellent job of it. I don't need to compete in that arena. I can come do my own thing with the 8 games and the Razes and the studs, and have my fun that way. Thank you, Josh, sir. Thank you, Josh, sir. Yes, I am murdering the 11-cent mix games. I gotta say, I'm just crushing those 11-cent games. Not even crushing the 11-cent games. I'm sitting in fifth position. So, I think we're raising our pair of 4s here. See what happens. Get re-raised by Mikkel. I think what we're going to do is we're going to shove our stack, and we are going to end up racing. Oh, no, we're not going to end up. We're going to end up crushed. Alrighty, well, that was fun. GG. GG. GG, everyone. That was fun. I got my points. I got my 22 cents. And, yeah, that was cool. Thank you for hanging out, everybody. It was awesome awesome for you to be here. I'm gonna have a quick look at the Stars lobby since I've got a few people here. See what we've got for mixed games currently going on that we might be able to bring up for something like Anything But Hold'em. Ah, that looks very interesting. Alrighty, I'm going to keep playing a bit here. I'm going to play some Limit Omaha High-Low. I'll bring that up on the stream here in a second. Alrighty, so let's do that. I just realized I was talking with my mic off for a bunch of time there. I don't know how long it was, but we got a $1.10 fixed limit Omaha high low coming up now on the screen. About to come, so stick around. And boom, we have got FL08 up on the stream. Oh, lost a bunch of people, but that's cool. Maybe we'll get some people back. Alrighty, so let's change our title to FL08. Cool, cool, cool. Awesome. Good to have a few people hanging around with me, watching me play poker. I quite enjoy this. I must admit that I'd probably stream even if people weren't coming to watch me play poker, even if I was streaming it to myself. And the reason that I would do that is because I found that when I am verbally talking out the hand, trying to explain my thought patterns to you lovely people out there listening to me, even if you lovely people were theoretical lovely people, which I know you're not, and that's wonderful that you're not theoretical lovely people, but even if you were, the act of me explaining the hand to lovely people out in the audience actually helps me play better. I think it helps me recognize certain situations, helps me recognize spots that I might not see otherwise, helps me recognize spots where I'm beat more often than I would when I'm not talking the hand out. So I really am going to be streaming whether people are listening to what I'm doing or not, because it's frankly makes me better when I talk the hand out. So I do appreciate everybody coming and listening to the stream, but the fact is that me streaming is making me better. So I appreciate you coming, but it's all selfish. It's all for me. That said, please hit the follow button down below and follow me and come back and watch me next time, because I do like you coming and watching me. That is very cool. It's very cool that I'm talking to non-theoretical, real flesh and life blood people out in the real world. That's awesome. Beardo. Is Beardo in? Awesome. Good to hopefully we'll see Beer. I've got Beer Jerk beside me, but no, hopefully we'll see Beardo down the road. Beardo's a buddy from another buddy from the PSO home game. Floate. Yes, it is Floate, not Ploate. Floate. Yes, sir. Rexo. HXRO. Fixed limit. Omaha high-low. I'm not nearly as much of a fan of the Omaha high game. I certainly don't mind the pot limit version of either of the high-low game, but the straight Omaha high game I'm not as much of a fan of. Likewise with the stud, I'm not as much of a fan of stud high as I am of stud high-low. Nice hand for Katya there. Ooh, Katya. Katya. We've played Katya in the Sunday Raz. Katya's big Sunday Raz player, so we know Katya. Um, Gotta keep an eye on her. We know that she's a very good Raz player. I'm guessing that she'll have some 08 skills as well, probably. Alrighty, so I'm working on hearts. They're not great hearts. The low is looking not terrible if it comes in, because the deuce means that my ace fours are going to be better. Um, going to be better. So we're not going to draw to our low. Um, I'm probably not going to put a ton of faith in the hearts if they come either, because they're pretty low hearts. Um, and they don't even come. So we've basically bricked the whole thing out. Uh, an ace high could win here. Not a lot, but a bet might win. A bet might have won there. But I don't really think that 60 into 210 is going to get anybody off of a better hand. It might get some worse hands to call for sure, but it's not going to get anybody off of a better hand. And I'm not even really sure what worse hand is. What out there is worse than me. Certainly, that's going to call. Alrighty, that makes it break time. Chance to go do my thing. I'll be back. I am back. I am back. I am back. We are very glad you're not a mannequin, Steve-O. We are very glad. Excuse me a sec. Sorry, I just had a bit of a coughing fit there. I'll be fine. Gonna take the break off. We're ready to rock and roll. Let's have a look here. We've got 1892 up top for first, 220 in ninth for our min cash. So everybody who makes the final table is going to get paid today. At the moment, I'm slightly below stack. That's the way you spell it. Hero Mannequin. I'm going to guess the HXRO is meant to be hero. That's what I'm going to go with until I'm corrected, until told otherwise. Good to see you, Hero. Hope you'll subscribe down below. Click the subscribe button. Come back and join us again soon. Just sent out a quick Twitter share because I wanted to do a bit of Twitter hype, get some people out if anybody's watching. So far, it's been pretty uneventful tournament. Haven't really gotten involved too much yet. Just got slightly below the starting stack. Started with 1,500 chips. A friend of the stream, Beardo, is doing somewhat better in 19th spot with 1,755 chips. So he's won a pot or two since he jumped in. Other than Katya, who we recognize from the Raz, I'm just looking through the list to see if I see anybody else that I'm recognizing, and I haven't really beyond Beardo and Beardo and Katya. Paradar 8 picked up a gut shot with the 10. Probably Chuck calling this an awful lot in this spot. We just nailed our gut shot. That's always a sweet spot to be in. If the hearts come on the river, of course, we're not thrilled in this situation. But I mean, at the moment we're playing the nuts, so we can't really do anything other than put money in the pot. Nor do we really want to be doing anything other than putting money in the pot. That's just, I shouldn't even make it sound like I'm trying to do something else. I'm not. We're playing the nuts and there's no low draw, so. So always want to be putting money in the pot there. Pair of eights with Jack Queen, without a low. I was gonna say without a low, it's not really worth playing, but for the odds that we're getting here, I mean, we're getting over 10 to 1 odds on this, which is just even in a limit context, is just way too good to pass up when you've got two suits and a pair and a jack and a queen to work with in an Omaha context. Um, Clearly, this is not the sort of flop that we were looking for because it contains lots of low cards, and that means that even if we do end up with a good high, it's going to split the pot with somebody probably. But we still obviously have a chance to develop good hands. But really, a lot of the wind was knocked out of our hand with a flop like that. We, we were looking for big cards. We were looking for obviously clubs and obviously looking clubs and spades. Um, we're looking for eights. Obviously, we were looking for Broadway cards, but what we were not looking for is four cards under six on this board. That was absolutely not what we were looking for. So boom, we're out of the hand. We're gone. We're history. We're toast, folks. You into the ride tonight, Stevo? You you having a few drinks tonight? What's going on out there in Ontario with you, buddy? Pair of sixes, 7-5. That's never going to be a terrible hand in a high-low context, and sitting on the button makes it even stronger. We've just basically flopped the sucker end of the up and down straight draw. Not the worst place to be, not the best place to be. Our pair of sixes still plays as a high hand. Have no spades, and we do have a marginal 6-5 low draw. That's what our current situation is. Given that we've been checked around to, I think it's ever really going to be a terrible thing to throw money in the pot here. Um, I think that there's certainly people that are ahead of us at this stage. There's probably bigger pairs out here than our sixes, but I do think that we have some draw possibilities that might be better than other people. And I think if the low comes in, we could very well have a chance of splitting low in this scenario. People were not going. Um, we're not going low crazy the way I would expect them to. I don't think I need to bet again on the turn there. Um, that's one of those I like it, I hate it cards. It's obviously it makes my pair of sixes pretty dead, and it doesn't do anything for my high draw. But it does mean that the 6-5 is more likely to be a playable low draw. So I'm calling behind here. I'm not hugely confident that my low is good, but I've got to be in just to see. Yeah, I mean, there's a 7 ace over there. Yeah, so I mean, I've got to be in there in that spot. When there's a 3 and an ace on the board, what it means is that a lot of the traditional hands that people were going to play for low, the ace threes, the ace deuce, the deuce threes, as we see with Waldo playing the deuce three there, a lot of those hands are damaged when the ace and the 3 are up on the board. So it makes, even though we're playing a crap 6-5, it actually makes that a pretty strong hand counterintuitively. Nice man. Those 18 mans are fun. Those 18 They will fill. I've been playing a fair number of those. They take a little while, but they do fill, and they're fun. They play fast, but they're a lot of fun. I've been cashing fairly frequently in those and doing, having a lot of fun with them. Keep in mind that they are no limit, as opposed to limit or pot limit, so you can find your stack all in real fast in those games. So bear that in mind. But yeah, those 18 mans, I play those a fair bit. It's weird. I go through phases of, well, I mean, I obviously could have played that. I really had no value on that with the other jack, and I still don't know if I do, frankly, because anybody with a jack has got me crushed. And I would think it's pretty, yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty unlikely that there's not a jack there. Roger that, Steve-O. Gotcha. The vodka this evening. Good Canadian boy. You should be into the rye, man. It's funny. I was listening to a snooty whiskey program on CBC, which, if you're not listening from Canada, CBC is our national broadcaster, Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. They do lots of kind of erudite intellectual programming for the most part. And I was listening to a fairly snooty whiskey panel, where one of the guys was saying that one of the five best whiskeys in the world is Alberta Premium Rye Whiskey. And the funny thing about that is that here in Alberta, you go into a liquor store and you can literally buy a Mickey of Alberta Premium Rye for like $10 in a plastic bottle with a screw top. And here we've got this whiskey snob saying it's one of the five best whiskeys in the world. So basically, what that tells me is that here in Alberta, um, our bums and hobos have exquisite taste. That's really what it tells me. The bums and hobos in Alberta have exquisite taste. Well, we're above starting stack, so that's not a terrible place to be. It's been a fairly uneventful game so far. We're still feeling out the opponents. Like I say, the only one that I know anything about at all in this game is Katja, and I don't really know anything about Katja's Omaha high-low game. I know about Katja's Raz game, but I don't know really anything about Katja's 08 game. Would hit a set of threes on this board. Actually, no, we would have hit the wheel on this board, but there's spades and all sorts of other stuff on there. We're probably taking low there almost for sure, but I suppose we should have been involved in this pot. Yeah, we would have obviously lost the high to the flush, but we would have taken low with 5-4-3 deuce ace. This one we're not really interested in getting involved in. Trying to decide whether I'm going to fire up the. Just having a quick look at my. There's nobody registered in the Raz tournament that starts in 30 minutes. Trying to decide if I'm going to throw my name in and open the reg up. Probably little Mike will show up at some point along the way. Lots of limpy family pots going on at this table. That's a little bit unusual, even for a limit game. You tend to get a lot more limpy type pots in limit games than you do in pot or no limit games, for probably obvious reasons, I suppose. Um, but it seems even excessive to a certain extent in this game as well, because I mean, there's been several cases where 4, 5, 6 people are lumping into the pot, and that just is excessive. Of course, it's much harder to punish that sort of behavior in a limit game too, because when you decide you're going to punish that, all you can do is raise one bet, which is puny, and it gets called most of the time in these limpy situations. Hey, well, like I say, I mean, the whiskey snobs think Alberta Premium is one of the best whiskeys in the world. And it's like I say, we sell it for $10 in a plastic bottle here in Alberta. So a good rye is about the only kind of whiskey that I really will ever drink. I'm not really a big fan of whiskey at all, to be honest. But a good rye is something that I will drink. That said, I am probably going to make whiskey purists scream when I say this. I will mix it with Coke. So yeah, that's probably gonna make people go bonkers. But Ace 3 King King is the sort of hand that you want to take lots of little betting discs out and put them in the middle of the table with. Generally speaking, seems other people would like to do the same, and I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. We have got the second nut low and a pretty reasonable overpair to be working on still. I think Deuce Ace is no, I shouldn't say we have the second nut. Yes, we do have the second nut low. Deuce Ace is the only thing that beats us. A 3 Deuce we beat. So the Deuce Ace is the only thing that beats us. We now have a set of kings, which is pretty rockin', I think. So we're putting more money in the pot. Uh, that's always what we're going to have to do in this spot. And we've just hit the full house now with the second nut low. I think that putting money in the pot is absolutely still the thing we want to be doing in this situation, folks. There's no reason not to want to put money in the pot at this spot. We have pretty much not high, not low. I think, well, absolutely not high, almost not low. And we're gonna do some scoopage. Oh, we're not gonna do scoopage. We're gonna get half. We're gonna get half scoopage anyways. He had the ace too, but what can you do? What can you do? I think that's good for a binkage. It's half binkage, but we can do a binkage on that. Do 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 do. Boo 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 boo. I'm gonna bet my pair of aces. I think they're the biggest. I think they're the biggest hand out there. I think that the ace can cripple a lot of the low draws that people are gonna play. So I think that my 6-3 is probably not terrible. I think with the deuce out there, it's even more so the case that my 6-3 is probably not terrible. I think my aces are still good a lot of times as well. My set of aces, I think, are good a lot of times. So yeah, I'm pretty happy putting money in the pot, I think. Oh, my set aces weren't good that time. His set aces were good that time, but my low draw was good, which is nice. He did not have a low. 3-4-6-7 is absolutely the kind of hand that you want to be playing in an 08 situation. These are the kind of cards you're looking for. You've got two cards that are playing to the nut low with the 3-4 potentially. You've got wicked wrap possibilities. So yeah, I mean, I think that you've absolutely got to be involved with this pot. Being out of position kind of bites. Like seeing the ace. The ace makes our 4-3 much stronger than it was before the ace came. Obviously, seeing a deuce would make that just peachy keen. Seeing the jack pretty much kills this hand for us. We have lost most of the value that we had pre-flop with it, and there's really nothing that can work for us at this stage, because even that might look like it gives us straights and things like that, but it doesn't do anything for us on the river. It doesn't give us a low, it doesn't give us a straight, it really just gives us nothing, and all we can do is fold. All we can do is fold. Didn't lose too much money on that pot anyways, that's good. Pair of aces with the ace-3, this is something that we're always going to be betting strongly. I think something that we're going to be sort of putting as many chips in the pot as we can, at least until we start to see a board that goes horribly against us. There's obviously 10 jacks and things like that that have just hit straights on that board and could easily be crippling us. Don't think we can assume that's the case, but we certainly have to be careful for those. The lows, people who are playing for low have probably gotten out of the way there with just the 8. They're not going to want to try to go runner to hit a low. So that was one advantage of betting there. Calling behind here, the 3-4-5 is pretty strong. It's obviously 3 cards to the nuts, and depending on how things come out, any one of those 3 can play. So you're pretty happy that way. But clearly, when things like this happen, it's one of the reasons why you don't, go super crazy with these pre-flop. There's going to be a lot of flops that you're not real thrilled with. This being the sort of flop that's one of them. So yeah. Ooh, I am timing out. What are we looking at here? I've got to check that. Sorry, I was not paying attention. I don't know what I was looking at, but it was clearly not the board. We'll check behind again here. It gives us a pair of 5s, which I don't think is anything that I can value. I suppose you're going to get called by some aces in this spot. But there's not really anything better than you that's going to fold. That's for darn sure. So you might, um, that exact hand I might get called by, but even that seems unlikely. So we'll fold out the ace jack 10-6. The ace 6 can obviously play, but it's never going to play terribly well. You're sort of expecting to get a deuce 3-4 there in order to make that play, or at least 2 of those cards. Glad to see people hanging out with me tonight, watching me play some poker. We played some 8 game earlier. Ended up finishing fifth in that for a min cash of 22 cents on an 11-cent buy-in. I don't really look at that as only winning 11 cents and therefore it not being meaningless. I actually look at that as winning 2x the buy-in of the tournament I bought, which means it's a very meaningful, well, not very meaningful, but it means it's a meaningful profit point in that. I really do look at this not as money, but as game chips, and therefore um, if I spend X and I get 2X back, that's a good day. No matter what X is, that's always going to be a good day. So, I don't really look at it as only winning 11 cents. I look at it as winning 2X my buy-in and being fairly happy about that. Alrighty, seeing all those diamonds out there isn't very friendly to my pair of aces, is it? The fact there's only one low card is fairly friendly to my very crappy ace 8 ace low draw, but I'm not real happy with all those diamonds, and I definitely think that I could be calling down Maz with diamonds at this point. And I think Maz having diamonds at this point seems fairly likely. But I think if that's the case, then I'm probably drawing for a live low. So let's do this. And we bricked the live low. So I don't really think I can call a bet here. I mean, is Maz ever 3-barreling here without 2 diamonds in his hand? I think that the chances of that happening are pretty slim. So, I mean, I really think that my aces are pretty dead at that stage. Much as I hate to get rid of them, I think that they're probably pretty dead at that stage. Deuce 5-4 or Deuce 4-5 is always going to be a pretty decent 08 hand to go with. 3 cards to your nut low. Um, 10's kind of sitting out there by itself, useless. Yeah, absolutely, man. 6 is definitely a throwaway card. Pretty happy with the way that flop came out for me. Obviously, the spades coming in will ruin any of my straight possibilities, but my low's still looking pretty good. Don't think I'm feeling terrible about putting money in this pot. We've got 2 chances to hit our low, and when we do, our low is going to be good a lot of the time. There's going to be ace deuces out there sometimes. I mean, I think that we're going to be scooping this pot a ton of the time. When we're not scooping, we're going to take high and we're going to lose low to an ace deuce. I suppose there's 4 7s that will take me down here, and I'm just going to live with those. That's a super bitey card. I really don't like that card at all. Nothing I can do about it, though, except check call. Yep, that was That was a pretty brutal card, but hey, it's the way it goes. Definitely low coming out. We would have flopped top pair. Our low draw would have been really crappy. I don't think that this is a hand that we even should be considering what we got. So we have 7-6 or 8-7-6-4-3 for low. There's all sorts of low hands that beat us. It's about as far from the nuts as you can get for a low hand at this stage. It does give us a gut shot. Were we still in the hand? But yeah, I don't think it's gonna play out very well for us a lot of times. I have a feeling this is going to be the last hand that Malishka 30 KO plays. I think he or she is done on this hand. I don't know why I think that, but I think that one of Maz and or Edison are going to be splitting this pot between them. Oh, I was wrong. Got quartered, but stayed alive. Very, very, very pretty starting hand for 08. All the rappy straight possibilities. Got the clubs going, working for us. We got the deuce 4, 5, 6 for low. So all sorts of cards that can work into low if we get things paired. It really is the sort of low hand that you want to be playing with. So we're absolutely going another street here. Not exactly the cards we wanted to see on the flop. Could have gone better for us, absolutely. I don't think we're getting away from the hand quite yet for one bet. At this stage, I mean, we do have bottom pair of deuces. Never know what comes up next. They have a backdoor clubs still. What comes up next is you just hit a set of deuces on the turn, and you're happy with that. Could easily be against a full house here. Somebody with king deuce or nine deuce, I think, are both a possibility. The way to find that out is to do that. Wow. Wow. 8 deuce on the freaking river. That is just brutal. Just brutal. Wow. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Oh well. I want him calling down with hands like that. I absolutely want him calling down with hands like that because I was ahead. Pretty sure I was ahead. Let me have a quick look at that before I say I was ahead. Let me make sure I was ahead. Let me make sure I was ahead. Well, no, I guess I was on a set of deuces, king high, and he was on a set of deuces, ace high, so I suppose I was behind still. Alrighty, well, that was pretty brutal. That was a pretty brutal beat at the end. I guess it wasn't as brutal as I thought it was. I guess he was still gonna beat us with the ace instead, and our three deuces were never good. But still feels pretty brutal when that happens. Got to pick yourself back up, not let it not let it bother you. Move on, because those are gonna go. You're gonna go with those hands. It's not like I'm ever gonna fold a set of deuces there. I mean, I suppose there's an argument for me folding the flop and then never getting into that situation, but deuce seven is not exactly the best Omaha high-low hand, so we're going to get rid of that. Let everybody else fight it out amongst themselves for this. Wonder if anybody's registered in that full tilt Raz game yet. Oh, yes, it's actually going to run. It is actually going to run. There's 3 people in there now. Who is in? Are they the ones we played against last night? No, actually, I don't recognize any of those names. I don't think. I think we might have to jump in that 3:30 Raz game. In fact, I think we're going to do that. That was pretty good value for us last night, I think. So I think we're going to try that again. Although I think now that I know it's going to run, I am going to watch the late registration and I'm going to jump in a little bit later in the tournament instead of risking things right from the start. I'm a bit more comfortable with that, I think. So we're gonna watch the lobby of that, and we're gonna jump in a bit later and do the Raz. If I bust out of this Omaha high-low tournament, then I might jump in the Raz right then, and go with it. But yeah, no, we're looking good. There's 4 people in the Raz now, so it's definitely gonna run. Well, I shouldn't say definitely. People could dereg before then, but it's up in 6 minutes now, so it looks for sure like it's going to run. So I will probably look at jumping into that one later on as well. A fairly good value there. Oh, excuse me, yawning in your face. Just looking at the HoldEm games now as well. I missed the 200 guarantee that I cashed in last night. Oh no, it's right there. It's right there. Early antes, 200 guarantee, late reg. It started 24 minutes ago. So that's one I might jump in and play again as well. I don't remember exactly where I finished in that one, but I definitely cashed in that one. I think I'm playing this 2 suits and the deuce 4 is definitely worth seeing a flop with. You got to hit the right flop for that deuce 4 to be a strong low, but it definitely can turn into a strong low. That's not a terrible flop for the deuce 4. Obviously, ace deuce is still out in front of you, but you're the next best to ace deuce. Deuce 3 is bad now without something else. Also, of course, got the gut shot to the straight 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 3, 4, or 5, 6, 7 when the 5 comes. So pretty good spot to be in at this point. I think we're definitely continuing to a single bet. If it went crazy beyond a single bet, gotta Got to think again at that point, but got somebody tanking. Yeah, I suppose if you don't have the nut boat, then you're not going to want to play too strongly, I suppose. So yeah, I get your point, Steve. I think it depends on how you get the full house as well, whether it's um, whether the low one is going to be strong or not. It's really depends on how it's looking on the board and what it's doing. That four is obviously not the friendliest card in the world, not the worst card in the world for me either, though. It does give me a low 7-6-4-3 deuce. Not the best low, but it does give me one. So I think we're calling, probably giving up some chips on this potentially, but I mean, I think that I'm gonna call the low. I don't have a ton of reason to believe that there's not an ace deuce out there, but anything that's not an ace deuce is potentially pretty bad against me right now. The ace threes and the ace fours have lost their low. Um, it's probably not the best call I've made tonight, but we're gonna give it a shot, and we're done. Yeah, ace five. Pooey. Oh well, that's cool. Yeah, that's the only problem with those 18 man, Steve. The with only four paid, it does you do have to get into the you do have to go pretty deep. Um, but keep your wits about you. You can still come back from that. Looks like the Raz is sitting on 5 players now. Just about to get underway. 16, 15, 14, counting down now to the start of the Raz. I am not registered yet. I'm thinking I might register later. I might not too. I'm feeling kind of tired now. I've done a fair bit of streaming today. Did a couple hours this afternoon. I've now been on since just after 7 tonight, so coming up on 4 hours there as well. So yeah, I think I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I keep streaming the Raz or if I decide to get some sleep this evening. That's again, that's one of those spots where you're giving up half the hand right from the start. Yes, it's possible that there might not be a low. No, sir, lost to my Vulcan. I am not in the USA. I'm in southeast Alberta, Canada. So we are playing for real live money here on Poker Stars. By the way, I very much like your username. I lost my Vulcan. That's pretty darn cool. I think. I like your name. I will just say I like your name. I think I'm going to see a flop with this hand. There's obviously lots of straight, rappy straight possibilities, spades and diamonds, and not horrible low cards depending on what comes out. So I think it's definitely worth putting some money in the pot with. Alrighty, so we flopped the sucker end to the straight. There will not be a low hand this time. Um, I think I got to put my money in, frankly. I know it's sucker end, so I know that I could be basically owning myself at this point and putting myself out of the tournament, but it's a straight, for God's sake, you know. Basically, king queen is what's killing me up top. There certainly is going to be king queens out there, but yeah, it's just not gonna. Do I want to keep going? Get somebody who snap called me there. Um, I'll check back this time, and I think I'll check back again just because you know the king queen is. I mean, I suppose a jack 10 might call me. That's gonna lose. Sweet. Kind of thought with the snap call there he was definitely working on a straight, but I guess not. Let's have a look at what he was actually working on. I'm actually not staking anybody at the moment. I lost my Vulcan. Sorry about that. Although I'm working on my own bankroll at the moment, trying to build that up. Um, Ruby D Fox was playing a Jack King 10, which means yes, they're on two pair, Jack 10. As I said, Jack 10 might call me for value there. So I guess that was a pretty reasonable value bet. We got our Jack 10 now. We're the one on two pair now. There is no straight out there this time, though, which is nice. At least not yet. There might be later. Got catches all in. Love the MT Loss is all in. We've just hit our full house and no lows, so we are basically scooping this pot. Unless there's another Jack 10 out there, which is certainly possible, but unlikely. I will take all the chips, thank you very much. Boom, binkage! That puts us into a much more comfortable spot. Um, Not quite in a caching spot. Caching is 9 players, but we're pretty close to that. Binkage! We've just hit the nut low, and we're pretty happy with that. We're going to put beer jerk all in because we are playing the nut low. Split pot, pretty much what I expected out of that. 5, 6, 6, 7. This is a pot that gets played as well. Definitely something that's of value in a spot like this. Of course, it changes as the pot comes out, as the board comes out, but we definitely want to see a flop a lot of times with hands like this. The hearts, the fact that it's all big cards is nice for us because we didn't really like our low anyways. The hearts are never going to be thrilling for us, I don't think. We're trying to get some fold equity here as well with our hand because we're not hugely strong at this point. Um, and I think that betting here and taking the pot down with the fold equity is going to pay us off more often than trying to check and actually hit our cards. Because even when we hit our flush there, I don't think we can be very comfortable that we've got the best hand. So, Beardo! Beardo's hanging out to my right. Beardo! Good to see you, buddy. Good to have you hanging out on the right. Are you watching the stream and chat as well, buddy? Say hello in chat if you're watching the stream. That would be pretty cool. You do have something of a stack over there, buddy. Sitting in fifth place. Sixth place, our friend Beardo. Neither end of this hand is really worth playing a lot of, so we're going to get rid of it, I think. This is more my style in a Omaha high-low game. You're obviously not looking at the best of low cards there with the deuce 4-5, but they can certainly turn into the best of low cards. Like that is how they turn into the best of low cards. We have the nut low, ladies and gentlemen, when the ace 3 comes out. So you just, you play deuce 4, you hit the nut low, and you throw chips in the pot. Easy game. Easy game. Yeah. Turn top pair. Flop the nut low. Easy game. Oh, I don't know why I didn't bet there. Oh, well. Definitely going to like that one. I'm definitely liking this high-low hand. We've got second nut low, which is of no use to us anymore, but we did hit the Broadway straight draw. Need the 10 for the Broadway straight. If there's any reason to think that he's on a jack at this point, there's enough reason to think that he's on either a jack or spades, however, to get us away from this pot, probably. Um, Alrighty, I'm gonna hit the break, do my business, and I'll be back. Oh, that's sad, Stevo. Sorry you're out, buddy. Guess I should turn my microphone back on before I start talking to all of you folks out there. That's very unprofessional of me, but I'm now back. I think my microphone is turned on. I think you can probably hear me again now that I'm back. Um, so yeah, it's cool that we're hanging out here on a Saturday evening, playing some 08, playing some mixed games, playing anything but Hold'em, basically. Beardo just announced he's hit $15.54 on a nice hand. Pair of threes with a four. Hearts in position against Edison with a fairly small stack. I'm going to be a nit bitch in this one and get rid of that. That was pretty nitty. All spades out on this board. Well, three of them anyways. So there's definitely spade possibilities for high. We've got a low out there now. Spades and the low. For Beer Jerk, who for the record is not our buddy Beardo. They are different people. Beer Jerk, I do not know and have never met before. I've never seen before tonight, although he is a fellow Canadian. No, I lie. He is a Russian. I lie. He is a Russian. He's got a very weird-looking, funky otter type avatar thing going, or seal type thing going on his picture. I'm not entirely sure what that is, but it's kind of weird. I take it Edison is unhappy with his cards. That would I do not speak whatever language it is that Pidor Stars um, is in, but I'm assuming that he's complaining about the fact that he is not getting the cards that he wants to get. That seems to be what I'm taking out of his. Pair eights with the seven. I'm probably not going to get involved with this hand anyways. Now that Edison is done, we can get on with playing our game. That's actually one of the flops that our 8-7 might play a low and win. It's not going to happen very often, though. Four of a kind aces. That's going to win the pot most of the time. Pair of tens with a 5-8. It's never really going to be strong enough to play there. Two people all in. Looks like a zigzag. Ooh, Ruby gets a quarter of the pot and is all in once again. I don't think we're going to play again. I think we're going to fold. Yeah, it's not going to work out terribly well for us a lot of the time. I'm pretty happy with the fold. Pretty happy with the fold before I saw the flop. And that's Ruby done. Edison done with a loud, cappy, yelly, non-English, presumably nasty sentence, and he's out in observer chat. Now Ruby DeFox is also done in 30th place. I get a walk, which is always a nice thing to get. Never going to complain about a walk. Even if I've got a pair of aces, I don't really complain about a walk because it means that I'm taking in more chips than I had before the start of the hand. It's always a cool thing. It's never the best thing you're going to get with aces, but it's always a cool thing. So you should never really be too unhappy when you take in more chips than you started the hand with. This is, after all, the point of poker. Oh, this is a tough spot. I could easily play that one, but I could also easily fold it. The deuce 3 is going to be strong a lot of times and low, but yeah, I don't know. That's probably being a nit bitch. Now that I think more about that, that's probably being a nit bitch too. We lost Beardo from our table. Must have balanced out somewhere. We're down to 28 people, so it's going to be, we're at 4 tables now, but it's going to be 3 tables very soon. Yeah, it's going to be 3 tables very soon. One more person has to break. Beardo's been moved to table 1. Still crushing the stack with 47-22 and 8th spot. Holy, ton of Canadians in this event. There's 4 out of the top 5 are Canadians. Uh, 6 of the top 10 are Canadians. 9 in the top 15 are Canadians. Yeah, there's a crap load of Canadians in this one. More than half the field looks like they're Canadians. We're certainly the largest single nationality. We might even be more than everybody else combined. Possibly. I am sitting 12th at the moment. That's the sort of hand that you do kind of want to get involved with. I've been folding a lot, so I might have some fold equity here. Apparently not. Beer Jerk's gonna call me here. That's cool. Probably prices Nalski in as well to make the call, so not a huge surprise there. Nice in some ways to see the 5s and 6s. It's obviously giving us a decent high hand. But it does kind of make it nasty for our low. Give me 1 second. I am going to bet this, and I'm going to shut off my voice because my headset's about to die from power, so I need to plug it in. Hang on. I'll be back. Alrighty, I think we're back. We are not going to lose power, so I can keep talking. I'm not unhappy with the ace coming. It actually gives me more potential with low hands if they come, because I do have the 3 to work with too, so another low card gives me a chance for a low. I think it's probably the right thing at this point to put Beer Jerk in. And clearly now it was definitely, being results oriented when we see the 5 on the river. It was clearly the right move. And we are continuing to put money in the pot. Gonna split. Oh wow. Oh wow, we lost that one to Beer Jerk because he had aces. That is rather brutal. That is rather brutal. Oh well, it's gonna happen. Yeah, we're getting out of the way in this hand now. No low anymore, and we don't have a high at this point, so check fold. That did turn us a crappy flush draw. But I don't think it's a good enough flush draw for us to put so many of our remaining chips into the pot on. Um, and we end up bricking it. Pair of 8s, 8-3, diamonds to the king. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that one as well. I've still got a few rounds that I can do before I'm dead, as they say. Have a quick look at that Raz that's running over on full tilt. Got 7 people in there now. It's currently in level 6, so there's still 4 levels of late registration to go. So another 20 minutes before that registration closes. Currently playing at 100, 200, so there's still 15 big bets if you were to jump in now. I'm seriously thinking about the Raz. It's going to be a late night if I play the Raz, though. That's the only thing that I'm worried about. It's definitely going to be a late night. I think maybe I don't want to be up quite that late. Yeah, this is one of those dangerous hands. Never even occurred to me that somebody was sitting on a set and that the pair of fives gave somebody else a full house. It should have occurred to me. It should have occurred to me. It did not occur to me. Alrighty, I think this is where my chips are going in the middle. Um, I'm either doubling up or going home, I think, at this point. This is one of the rare spots where I would have been somewhat unhappy with a walk, because I do think I've got value here that I want to play with. Do I want to survive for another hand? Yeah, I probably want to check back here. That's a good enough hand for me to be happy with, and I'm putting all my chips in. It was nice to quarter Xena on that. The Warrior Princess. Still, of course, not in any sort of safe mode at this point. I've still got a lot of work to do to get my stack in any sort of a situation that I want to be in. Um, I don't think that playing hands like that is going to get my stack back into a spot that I want it to be in, frankly. I'm currently sitting 18th out of 25 left. As I've said before, 9 places are paid in this one. So we've still got quite a ways to go before we're in the money. Have to, certainly going to have to build more chips up if I want to make it anywhere near there. I think I need to start definitely being aggressive when I have the chance. Maybe 3-betting some open pots just to try to get some extra chips when I take them down. Wow, 4 of kind aces. Yeah, it's going to be hard to beat that hand. This is the sort of hand that I think piling chips into the middle is going to be profitable a lot of the time. Um, Clearly, these are quite nice Raz cards. I mean, Raz. What am I talking Raz for? My brain is slow for the evening. Obviously, a good Omaha high-low hand. Do I want to raise here? I think we can wait and see what the flop is before we decide if we're actually going to pile all of our chips in the middle. So the 3 ace is ahead of us, and the 4 ace is ahead of us. The 4 3 is us. That gives us threes and deuces. And it also gives us a 3-4 or a deuce 4 low draw. I think we might actually have some value in this pot. Splits the low, that's not too, I mean, I took the low on both pots, that's not so bad. I'm fairly happy with that result. Added a few more chips to my stack, as I needed to do. Jumped up 2 spots in the standings to 16th now. Ace 3, I think I want to be involved in an ace 3 hand as well. It'd be nicer if the ace was a heart, but I'm okay otherwise. So just the 5, not the greatest low draw possibilities here. I think if our stack was bigger, we might consider peeling another card and see what the turn brings us. But I don't think it's going to bring us. I mean, I think with this stack, we've got to be very cautious now about what we're gonna, what we're gonna put our chips in with. So 23 left now. In this, we are getting down, not down to the wire so much, but we're definitely getting down in numbers. Started off at 63 with this a couple of hours ago, hour and 50 minutes ago. I'm going to fold the deuce 7 there. That's nutty in a deuce 7 context, but clearly not in an Omaha high-low context. The 7 is fairly weak. Rafael is tanking a bit here on this. We would have flopped an open-ended straight draw. Sorry to yawn in your ears there, but that open-ended straight draw just got crippled with by hitting a king, which gives the ace queen the straight, but more importantly, it also puts clubs out there. And the 10 just makes everything makes your straight just worth nothing at that point. It's another one of those hands that might well get played in a with a different stack context for me, but with that small of a stack, I just can't do anything with it, I don't think. Mater D is a small stack, and he's gone all in. Splits the pot. Not a surprising result, given the hands that got flipped over. The way people usually go out at these situations is when Mater D does that sort of hand and then bricks his low. That's usually what will knock him out. When the low comes in, it's usually going to be a split pot in those spots. That's a very wet board. We would have hit 5s full of 6s, but we know how that goes sometimes, so that may not be the best thing for us to have hit 5s full of 6s. Of course, in this case, somebody with a pair of aces would not have full, but there are other hands that could cap this there for sure. This ace 3-6, I think, is definitely something that we want to see a flop with. I'm quite happy to check through rather than raising at this stage, just to see what comes. But that deuce is pretty gorgeous for us. We wish it was paired with another low card, obviously, but it does mean that if low cards do come on the turn, we are on the nut low draw. Seems pretty likely that Mater D's on hearts. Hard to imagine Mater D not being on hearts. So we just need to hit, and we hit our low, and we're good for our low. So that's good. We're just splitting the pot with Mater 666. I don't think A6 is worth doing that with again. A little bit too weak on the low end and absolutely nothing on the high end, so I think we're getting rid of that. Just give it over to Mater. Oh, excuse me. I keep yawning in your ears. That's very unprofessional of me. It's very, very, very unprofessional of me. I'm gonna do a little bit of Twitter hype. Get some, maybe get some more viewers out through the Twitter thing. Gonna do one more quick tweet. I have already sent that link. It doesn't let me do it. Fair enough. It is very gratifying to see people come and watch me play and watch the stream and listen to me talk. I do very much appreciate uh, all of your love. Please follow me if you have not. Please follow me if you've not already done so. I think most of the people here tonight have probably already followed me, but please do so if you haven't already done so. Tell your friends about this wonderful Anything But Hold'em stream that we've got going on here. Um, Really looking forward to 2015 being a bit of a big thing here. I really want to start rolling up the bankroll a little bit into some higher buy-in mixed game stuff. I think focusing on the mixed game is absolutely the way to go with this, and I'm going to keep doing that. But I think that focusing on trying to get our shot into some of the bigger games is the way to do it here, I believe. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on for next season. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to wrap up season 1. It will be sometime before the end of 2014. And we will come back in 2015 with a brand new season 2 of Anything But Hold'em. Still going to be Anything But Hold'em, but there might be a few changes. You never know. It might be the sort of hand that you might consider seeing a flop with in a Omaha High game. It's not really going to ever be much value to you in a high-low situation, so you're just going to get rid of it there. Yeah, that would have just gone really poorly for us all the way around. going to see a flop with this, even though we've got no low cards. We've flopped a up and down straight draw that I think I'm pretty happy with. Anybody who's working on a heavy low is not going to be very happy with this, and I think that that our jacks are still good a lot of the time. Thought we might get a free river out of that. That didn't seem terribly likely. That's obviously not the sort of card we were looking for. It makes it less likely that there's a queen out there, but I think that our jacks are going to be good often enough here that we need to do this value wise. Oh wow. Okay, well, we're all in now. I was just about to post on my Facebook for people to come watch, but I'll hold off until I decide whether I've busted here or not. Pair of sixes. Our low draw is very bricky at this point. Backdoor spades, maybe. No backdoor spades. We did just turn a straight to the 7. Will give us a straight, but it's not looking good for us at this point. Pair of queens and sixes, so we got 2 pair now. We might actually split a high pot here. It's possible that we might split a high pot. No, we're not going to split a high pot. We are going to lose everything. Alrighty, so that's us done in 23rd place. So yeah, it was fun, but I guess we're done. I might have even missed the late registration period in the RAS. No, it actually looks like I can just jump into the RAS, but I don't think I'm going to do that tonight. I'm just not feeling up to it. It's been a it's been a long day. I've been on stream here for close to tonight's been 4 hours. Earlier today it was another 3, so it's been like a 7-hour stream day. I think I'm going to call it a night. It's great to see people coming and hanging out with me. I really do appreciate that. Tomorrow is probably going to be a pretty big day. We're going to do the weekly round 2, I think, is stud high, which at the very least should be good for a laugh because I do not play stud high very well, but nonetheless we're gonna throw it in there and do that. Anything but Hold'em weekly challenge. If you search the tournament lobby in stars for anything but Hold'em, you will find a Badoogie fixed limit tournament running tomorrow at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. That is our special weekly challenge tournament. I stream that from start to end every week. No matter where I finish, I continue and do the commentary right down to the final card. And then we go from there. And then I usually, late Sunday night, I usually sit down for a Sunday Raz session on PokerStars. And I might start adding the late Raz on Tilt as well to that, just to add and see how things go. So thank you for hanging out with me tonight. It was awesome to do this. It was fun. We started off with some 8 game. When I busted out of the 8 game in a 5th for a min cash, we jumped into this $1.10 fixed limit Omaha high low, and sadly we busted that before we cashed. But this can happen every once in a while, and you just gotta roll with the punches. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. We are done for the evening. Check back tomorrow. Great to be here. I'm out.